All right, race fans, welcome here. We're live tonight, Atlanta. That's right, hot Atlanta. And it's definitely a hot one out there tonight. Was talking to all these drivers. And speaking of drivers, we got a slew of them. 37 of some bad, fast boys here at the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series here for the trucks. And it's going to be awesome kicking this thing off with a winner. Well, I'm Joe White up in the booth. As always, accompanied by, I call him Harris, but it's Harrison. How you doing tonight, Harris?
Oh, I'm doing great. Looking forward to a nice race at Atlanta. Hoping to see more from what we saw at Chicago a couple of weeks ago. Similar track, so really looking forward to this one.
Absolutely. Definitely is going to be a good one. Talk to some of these drivers beforehand as they're in the middle of qualifying. Got about 3 or 4 minutes left here of qualifying. Right now, Bobby Terrell, the man on point here at Atlanta. It's going to be interesting because they were talking about tight, maybe getting loose later on in the run.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Atlanta is one of those tracks where it seems to change constantly. I remember racing here a bunch where you could even be full throttle all the way around early on, but you were, even though everything felt stable, you were burning that right rear tire and you'd be skating all over the place just a few laps later. And so that's one of those things to look for tonight, is just constant change.
Yeah, constant change. You're right. Something, like you just said, something to look forward to as we go through here this entire field. And got an awesome field. Actually, now it looks like we got 38 drivers just clicked in here for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series. I call it the Money Series. It is, but it's the Winter Series at that, because we're heading off into winter. Look, finally got a little cool here in the North Carolina area. I don't know where you're from there, Harris, but finally going to get cold. I think we're going to get in the 30s tonight.
Yeah, I'm up in New Jersey, but it's a really similar situation up here. It was a pretty warm weekend. I heard it's going to be warmer later this week, but tonight I think we had a high of 60, and it's on its way into the 30s.
Wow, good deal. Well, Harris is over there selling cars. We're out here tonight, hopefully not selling too many junked up trucks here at Atlanta for the Sim500. It's going to be an interesting one as qualifying. Got about less than a minute to go. Get your refreshments, get everybody in the house settled down, get your self-man geared up here for about 130 laps here, folks. Some awesome racing action here from the Sim500 boys here tonight. What do you think, maybe right quick, we're going to see, on the difference from Chicago to what we saw here?
I kind of think when it comes to here, we might see a little bit more of that pack racing early on, because it seems like on fresh tires, as surprising as that is for me to say, because at Chicago, we'd get the green flag, they'd all be bunched up, but I feel like it's going to be even more bunched up early on in the laps during a run here, then it might split up a little bit. And I think a lot of guys will be coming through the field in a pretty impressive rate, because it seems like, looking at the qualifying order, there's a few guys where I don't want to name names and be rude. I think a few guys qualified up front that might not be able to stay there. A lot of guys qualified between 11th and 20th, or 10th and 20th. They're really going to be charging. They might hold back a little bit early and then come on as the tires get a little bit older. So I think a lot of movement.
Absolutely. Well, you said that, and here we go. We're gridding this thing up tonight. Let's get it out on our grid in order here tonight. Bobby Terrell puts it on pole out front. Justin Fuller starting there in the second row, same row starting second. Thomas George there in third. James Pascarella, I think that's what we came up with, fourth place. Starting E.J. O'Rourke, we know that is in fifth. Braden Whitaker, I'm going to say that, on sixth spot. Kevin Pearson there in seventh. Steve Gunkowski, I hope I said that right, and sitting there in eighth. And on ninth place, Mark Bratchard. 10th place rounded out, Scott Formosa. As we look through the rest of this field, boy, I tell you, it is a who's who of talent here at Sim500. Harris, I don't know about you, get some goosebumps here, though, to see this race.
Oh, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these guys that either didn't get the qualifying run they were looking to get, or will be just starting from the back. We have Malik Ray back there in the 20s, Michael Guest, Chad Cole, Paul Cooper, competitor for the Monday Night Money title before the Winter Series in our regular season. In the teens right now, we've got Mike Kelly, Chad Coleman qualified 11th. He's going to be getting up there. Scott Simley, Rhett McBride. Rhett McBride's been good all season long so far, and I'm looking forward to it. Steve Minson, 24th also. A lot of hard chargers will be making their way through the field.
Yeah, you're 100% right there. And folks, like I said, I'm a Southern guy at heart here, and you can tell it in the voice. I will definitely probably mess up a few names as we go through this field, but I will definitely try to get them right as well. And that's why I got old Harris up here with me. He'll keep me in check.
I feel bad for old 91 car. I think Steve Gottschalk, man, we've renamed him a lot.
And I probably will for the rest of the season too, along with him and a couple other ones.
Oh, he'll embrace it. He really will. He's a great guy.
Here we go. We got the pace car. It's scooting off. Lights are off on it here, folks. 130 laps here. We're going to ride along. Well, as always here at OSRNetwork, we appreciate everybody stopping in, watching this awesome race. We're live here tonight, YouTube and Twitch, bringing this thing to you simulcast here, so that way you can pick your poison on what you want to view and what you want to look at here. Because Atlanta's going to be an interesting track, and it's going to be one that these guys are going to, like what Harris said, going to have to embrace and try to see what they come about it. The man on point tonight, old Bobby Terrell, and he's got that muscle milk machine out front, and he's going to flex his muscle early on.
It's great to see Bobby Terrell back, too. I think he took a little bit of a break as the Sim500 Monday Night Money series was going on for a lot of this year. Started coming back right at the end, and already a pretty successful start to his season. And so nice to see him on the pole.
Absolutely. And he's definitely out front and got a lot of company along with him here as the pace car's coming out of turn 4. We're going to ride along here with Sean Dorr here on the split screen side also. His pace car's coming out of turn number 4 here, Harris. And it's going to go side by side here to give us our awesome shot. There it went, boom. Here we go, green flag in the air. And I'm going to tell you what, Bobby Terrell wastes no time jumping out front here. We're watching a good in-car battle going on there. Look at them guys get fanned out. They go nose to tail up front. They still about 2 and 3 wide in the backside.
Yeah, they're racing back there. Up front, Justin Fuller went to the bottom very quickly. I think he knows that he does not want to get stuck high early on in this one as we're getting up to speed. Actually, the Fuller truck, the 51, already working Bobby Terrell for the lead. Turn number 3, they're side by side for the lead. Terrell working the high side, Fuller on the bottom. Fuller won it last week, I do believe. The week before finished somewhere in the top 10, about 7th or 8th. So Fuller looking to win 2 in a row on the bottom, going for that lead.
Yeah, he is. And we got a slew of trucks in the backside, but up front, got a battle going on for the lead. That 51 goes on the inside. He says, you might have muscle milk up there, Bobby, but boy, I got a lot of power up underneath this popcorn machine, and he just goes on the inside. That's the number 51. He's going to take that spot for right now as they come out of 4. Let's see if he gets it. Yep, scoots up there, and wow, he slides right up in front of him and brings E.J. O'Rourke along with him.
Oh, yeah, big slide with the 51 truck. And that 41 to E.J. O'Rourke, that's someone I'm a little bit anxious about on the long run. I feel like EJ, this track shows a lot of early speed, might fall a little bit. So I'm hoping he pays attention to what his teammate, 2 Aftermath trucks, Aftermath Motorsports, running a 1-2 here. I hope they work together as far as that tire saving ability, because I think Fuller has shown himself to be really good on tires this year, and I'm hoping EJ shows the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing about here at OSRNetwork, we're definitely not going to miss a lot of the action. With a big field of 37 trucks out here tonight, we definitely got a lot of action as they're nose to tail in a single file up front. But I'm watching this pack of trucks also on the side-to-side view here, Harris. We have got the 7 and the 8 and a truck up on the wall back there, and that's way back in the actual way back there. Actually, I'm trying to find it myself. Can you see it?
Ooh, I didn't catch who it was.
Pedro, right back down to 20th, 21st, 22nd, yeah.
Oh, that is a crazy pack. Actually, someone gets loose out of turn 4, hits to the grass. Jonathan Lockhart, number 6. He saves it. Looks like we're going to avoid a caution here as he gets back going. That's a lot of lost track position. But I was watching that pack, as you pointed out. Malik Ray, the number 1. I mean, they are on top of each other. Just, they could only do so much trying to come through this field, and they were just locked together.
Well, as good as the track is and what they were talking about before, it's definitely going to be hard to pass. Track position might be the thing, but what we was talking about with the side-to-side, the viewers out there is not going to miss much. It's going to let me and Harris actually keep up with what's going on throughout this entire place here, because Thomas George sitting right now in the 5th spot, and he's trying to get up there. We got Scott Formosa sitting in the 4th place. Bobby Terrell still in the 3rd. E.J. O'Rourke's up in the 2nd. Justin Fuller out front leading this one. Chad Coleman. He's pulling it up there to 6th spot. He's battling side by side with a man of, what's that, Braden Whitaker?
Yeah, Braden Whitaker. Chad Coleman started 11th and up to 6th already, so that's about a positional lap for that 20 truck.
Wow, I'll tell you what, it is still a barn burner going on in the back there. Those guys definitely are just fighting amongst themselves. It is a huge mess going on in the back of this pack around the 20th position on back. You got Joey Katina in that mix. Milt Matisse? Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I call it, so I hope so.
All right, good deal. And Chris Caboot, I hope I said that last one. I got Pedro Mega. We always talked about him, the Mega Machine out there. He's in the mix of that one. Brian Boris Cook, Mike Kelly. I'll tell you what, there's some powerhouse names throughout this field here, Harris.
Yeah, you know you're in a good series when you find yourself, running 18th as a driver who's used to winning races and not really passing people at a high rate of speed. I honestly thought Malik Ray would come through the field a little bit quicker, but then I got to remind myself, I was talking about all those fast drivers that qualified 11th through 20th, so it's going to take a little bit longer to be able to get through the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, back up front here, though, Justin Fuller still. We're still letting the viewers see what's happening back there in the back, so they're not missing action while we're talking about up front, because Justin Fuller's checking out, but behind him, Bobby Terrell is trying to take that spot over from E.J. O'Rourke. They're in a good side-by-side duel right now. I think this is just the theme we're looking at here the whole entire race, Harris. These guys are just going to be on top of each other for the most part, unless we go green flag pit stop.
That's right. And one guy, a little bit off topic, but I just noticed the number 74 truck, the Michael Guest. He's chasing down the leader right now. He is not running second. He's actually a lap down. So I think he got to the grid late, possibly started from pit road. We expected to see him coming from the back. He qualified 26th, but this is a truck that won Chicago, and didn't just win Chicago, but won Chicago with authority. He dominated that race, and he can still win this one, but he's just going to be one to watch right now because he's going to need a caution to be able to win this one, and it's been a great start, and he'll probably get that caution at some point, but he's going to be one to watch.
Yeah, definitely one to watch. Like I said, I think he did miss the start of this one here. We're watching him back there in the backside. We're still watching this side up here, this battle up front here at E.J. O'Rourke, Chad Coleman and company up front. You're right. He's trying to methodically just pace himself throughout this race. He knows it's a long race, long way to go. We're only here at lap 11 of 130. So, I mean, we got a long way to go. Definitely want to appreciate everybody coming out here tonight viewing this one because we're here live at Atlanta Motor Speedway, folks. That's right, with the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series here in Atlanta with the trucks. And these guys are burning up hot Atlanta right now. Huge field, and as I always say, some bad fast drivers and some bad fast trucks on a bad fast hot Atlanta track here. That's what we're seeing right now, Harris.
Yeah, and speaking of heating up, the right rear tires are heating up. I've seen a couple of trucks get really loose coming through. It seems to be especially 3 and 4, not so much in 1 and 2. They might be feeling it in 1 and 2, but that exit just seems I don't know what it is about the exit, because you would think that the turn 2 exit's a little bit tighter here, but it seems like they might be more prone to pushing up out of 2, getting loose out of 4. Oh, there's a 3-wide situation down the back. Malik Ray now already back to a 2-wide, but there was contact made between Rhett McBride and Braden Whitaker, and that's P10 or so. So Malik Ray looking to get into the top 10.
Yeah, Malik Ray already trying to move himself up there as we'll watch this battle. You got Pedro Mega right there in the mix. I think that's Pedro. Yep, he's in the mix. Mike Kelly, Braden Whitaker right there. You're talking about Bobby Wetzel. He's been falling back. We're also watching him on the side and the backside. Joey Katina and company back there in the back, around 24th to 25th. They got some huge battling going on. So we got battles up front. We got battles in the middle. We got battles in the back. I'll tell you what, where do we go to, Harris? I mean, it's a who's who here on this track.
Yeah, I'm not sure where to watch. Ooh, there's a truck getting loose out of turn 4. He avoids going to the grass, but let's see who that was.
Might have caught it on the side to side. I think it's in the backside back there in the middle of the pack.
Milton Matisse, the 42, got a little bit loose out of turn 4, and that's just turn 4 really seems to be where it is. That's the trouble spot. A lot of the guys are certainly fading right now with issues in 3 and 4. By the way, Michael Guest back on the lead lap, but he's about 30 seconds behind the lead.
Well, you know what? And it won't take him long. If he holds on to it, Bobby Wetzel, he has definitely got his hands full in that 9 truck. He's just not feeling it. Dropping off the pace. He's looking like a rock in water right now, as they are almost going 3 wide behind them. Right now, these trucks probably feel great. And if it is tight out there, Harris, right now, then they're able to put up with the 2 wide, 3 wide. But as this thing gets slicker, we're going to start to see that. Whoa, right there behind Bobby, we're seeing these guys already getting a little slick as they're sliding all over the place.
Yeah, and it seems like Bobby is feeling it get slick in that 9 truck. He seems like he's trying to work the high side, especially in 3 and 4, as the caution's out on the racetrack. But it's an interesting thing as I look to see where the yellow is from. Bobby Wetzel he's in one of those situations where as you look for different grooves, a lot of times you're in grooves that you didn't really practice, and so it's a lot of guesswork.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see where Iracing takes me back to. It took me back to the 9, but I don't think it might have been him because he's up in the wall.
Whoever the caution was, he actually is already out of the track looking for, it was a smoking truck on the inside. That'd be the 84 Jimmy North was involved. I don't know if he was the cause of the yellow, but he definitely has a blown motor after this one.
All right, well, let's go back on him then and just see what happened here. Get on a replay so the viewers can get a chance to see what happened out there. And again, I want to appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight because we're in Atlanta here, folks. We're watching that. Yeah, they're starting to come out of 4, slipping these things sideways. Look like a bunch of drift machines coming out of there. They're losing it. So it's starting out probably. Here's the thing I'm probably seeing right now, Harris. Tight going in, loose coming off. Usually it's a combination of, if it's tight going in, you're actually letting off the throttle a lot to settle the truck, and then you're getting back on the throttle real hard because you think you slowed down too much. As we're still watching this replay here to let the viewers see what happened here on this start. I guarantee you everybody's going to be yelling for some tires, though.
Oh, yeah, I think there's no mistake about it. I'm curious about how tire strategy will come into play later on in this one. As far as this wreck, Mark Bratcher, looked like he got a little bit loose out of turn 4, made a little bit contact with the 42 afterwards, and got stuck in the wall. Come down the front stretch, was at a really much slower speed because of the wall, bringing him down, and Jimmy North drove into him as he unstuck himself from the wall. So Jimmy North kind of in a bad place to be right there, and it took a couple of guys with him.
Yeah, could never get the replay back on what was going on that last caution. Apologize for that one. Sometimes iRacing takes me back to the right spot. Sometimes it just tries to be But everybody on pit road here, and that's going to be the theme as they all come storming off. Well, should give us a few here to maybe get a word in with somebody you want to talk to.
Ooh, that's $1 million question. Let's see who we have on here.
We got a lot of people. A lot more than what we normally have. Bobby Terrell here? Is that him down there? I think that's him right there in the turn 1, ain't it?
Oh, that is, yeah.
Well, let's bring him up here. Get a talk in with him. Why not? He was up front,
And stayed out on this yellow, down in the lead.
He did.
I'm sorry, he probably pitted. He pitted. He just got out of pit road first.
All right. Well, let's bring him up and see what he's got to say. Bobby Terrell, Joe White in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, looking good out there in that number 7 machine. Got the muscle milk powering around here at Atlanta. How's the truck feeling? How's the track feel?
Right now it's feeling real good. I was taking care of my stuff a little bit there and felt like I was coming back, to them. But we'll see how the track rubbers up and see what happens.
Well, what's your game plan out there to get this thing done tonight?
Just take care of this thing. try to put it in victory lane.
There you go. Nice. Well, you put it on pole here, and you looked really good doing it. So good luck out there.
All right, thank you.
All righty. That's old Bobby Terrell out there. He seems pretty confident there in his turn 1 Heroes team there. What you think, Harris? Think he's got the truck to pull it off?
I think so. You know what I like about Bobby Terrell is he reminds me of similar to Mark Martin. A clean driver, very methodical, calculated. He thinks about what he's doing, and it's that old school. You get that old school flavor from Bobby Terrell. And so
Nice.
anytime you have a race where it just stays green and he can work the rhythm and just kind of like focus on his own race, I think that really plays to his strengths. And so he's hoping for that.
Yeah, I agree with you right there. Definitely seems like kind of laid back. Man, a few words, so to speak. As we're going to ride on side by side here. I'm going to ride up here with Bobby Terrell on this restart. And I'm going to ride with old Michael Guest way back. He's on the lead lap, but he's going to be starting way on back there. And about, if I can see him through this whole list of drivers, well, they all kind of bunched together on me. I think he's back there in the 25th spot.
Exactly, 25th is where I have him. And yeah, Michael Guest is going to be really entertaining to watch as he comes up through the field here. You know, that's just a lot of traffic to deal with. And,
Absolutely.
you know, we saw a couple of guys start in 25th and make their way up there. But, you know, the complexion's changed a little bit. We've got the momentum of this race started. People have an understanding of how the trucks are feeling. They have a little more confidence in it. They might be driving a little bit harder to start this run. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Michelle, I sleep during the day. In the morning times as we're getting set to go back green flag racing. Here we go, ride side by side, green flags in the air. Michael gets a good jump right there. There's old Michael Guest in the back, so we're gonna go Michael here. Actually, Bobby, excuse me, up front gets a good jump out there. Michael gets a good jump in the back. Is he gonna take it 3 wide? Well, these trucks right now are probably gonna feel the best that they're gonna feel for most of the race on these awesome tires.
Yeah, that was Joey Katina, league owner, who he took 3 wide. So that was an interesting situation there. And Paul Cooper thought about a 3 wide on Joey Katina, but gets back in line. But I'm just going to really like watching how Guest maneuvers his way through traffic. He already switched to the high side. And Michael Guest, he restarted 25th, crosses the line side by side with Tim Matthews, up to 19th. That's 6 spots in a lap.
Yeah, 6 spots right set in a lap, man. Just coming up through there, flying high through the field. Definitely a dominant driver, very clean. Up front, though, you still got Justin Fuller taking a point. Malik Ray, though, hadn't talked much about him. Don't count him out. That man will be up there before this one is over with. It is awesome as you got the #1 Skittle machine, popcorn, Skittles, and muscle milk. That's a combination right there, Harris.
Oh, it is. I don't know if I've ever made that combination, but oh my God, I had a moment watching Stevie Minson and Michael Guest about a lap ago. It might have been on the side by side, I think it was, where Minson and Michael Guest ran each other about as close as you could possibly run. Well, really, it was Minson running Michael Guest right against the fence, and you know, just it was a 3 wide situation, got really tight, and I tell you, Fuller went for that lead quickly, trying to hold off Malik Ray, but Malik Ray started 25th or so. It's going to be hard to hold him off.
It is. I want to tell you what, Michael's got a slew of traffic to deal with in that backside. It's like I say, folks, you don't miss a lot of the action here at OSR Network. Appreciate it, Michelle, as always out there. Love doing this. Love bringing the action, man, to the viewers, to all the fans. We're under caution here, though. See if I can get this one.
Yeah, once again, I went back real quick to see what brought out the caution. Haven't found it yet.
It pulled me to Patrick. Yep, he's in the pits, tore up. Paul Nicholas is who it took me to. Actually, wait a minute, Patrick is who it took me to. Patrick called. I don't know why it took me back to him. All right.
Yeah, I'm looking around the track and have not seen what brought out the caution. Didn't see any smoke.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Haven't seen any cars around. Oh, here it is at a turn 2.
What you got?
It's the number 9 of Bobby Wetzel is probably they got back going again without hitting anything, but
that's why I can't get it really quick. Yeah. All right.
The 62 of Sean Dower got into the left rear of the 9 of Bobby Wetzel. That was one of those deals where Wetzel slid up a little bit. Sean Dower looked for a 3 wide, and you know you have to come up a little bit because you're exiting the corner, and sometimes there just isn't that room.
Nope, sure isn't. Let's see if I can take it back here far enough on the replays and we can actually show the viewers this one this time around.
Yeah, and
this many cars, really sometimes tough, man, on the replays.
Yeah, and that's one of those situations too where when I say that, I'm not automatically blaming Bobby Wetzel for this one. This is just a product of racing, Sometimes sometimes they're just you're on the bottom, you're going to slide up a little bit. And the 9 car, he's got to do the same thing. He's got the 78 above him, I believe it was. And there wasn't a whole lot of room above Bobby Wetzel either. So it's not like he could have just pulled it up the track and, everything been okay. It was just a lot of tight racing there.
Yeah, it was almost 3 wide right there. Yeah, we're watching a replay right there. Like, yeah, Sean Dorr, he just product of wrong place, wrong time. A little bit of 3 wide racing coming out of there. Everybody getting tight and loose, like you just said. So, yeah, it looked like just one of them. He kind of spun, turned it around. Usually iRacing doesn't throw those cautions that quick. Wow. Because, he usually got to stay stopped on the middle of the track.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised by that one. I guess maybe when the car rotates more than like 90 degrees in the middle of the pack like that, you'll get a quick yellow, as long as it's above that white line. But yeah, we've seen it clear onto the white line here at Atlanta a bunch and not bring out a caution at all.
Absolutely. And you're right, John, out there in chat. We're here live, Atlanta Motor Speedway here with the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series here in the trucks. And these guys are putting on a very good show. Started out here with 38 machines. We still got 35 out here. Well, the one thing most notable here, Harris, is there is no fast fix. So you get tore up here, it's one and done.
Yeah, that's certainly a big realism factor. There are a lot of leagues who believe in second chances, and I would say Joey believes in second chances, just not in the same race. Your second chance is next week.
I do some series that are the same way, no fast fix, and they go through it. I like it. It brings on a little bit more of an immersive style, like you said, real style experience to it. And these guys know it. It actually calms them down, especially with a huge field. And you got a fast fix and a backup. Sometimes you're going to come out here and just drive over your head, lack of a better word. This way kind of does calm you down just a little bit.
Yeah, I do think it helps with the cleanliness of the racing. People are not going to take those risks, as you said, because it's going to help stop a few people from putting their trucks in the harm's way.
Yep,
harm's way.
There you go. Well, it has been a good one. We're here at lap 28 of 130. Most of our cautions have been kind of single truck spins, and I think it's a lot of the product of the track, really just being tight going in, loose coming off. And again, that's usually a product of, well, if it's really, really tight, you slow down enough to get that truck's nose buried down so you can get it to turn. When you do, you step back, hammer on that gas, and, well, what happens? It's wanting to come out money coming out of the turn.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. That tight loose that everyone fears, and yeah, it makes it more complicated, but just because of it becomes just exaggerated that it becomes even more exaggerated just the further you get into a run, where it just gets so much worse when you get to lap 15, lap 20, and we got kind of close to that in the first run of the race. We're gonna get close to that as we go throughout this race here, as we look toward especially the halfway point. At any point here, we're going to get that full fuel run where it's really going to be interesting to see how tough these trucks become to drive.
Yep, you're 100% right on that one. Definitely going to see what we got going on here. As the lights off on the pace car. This is going to let these guys set sail again. And Thomas George going to be the man up front, along with Steve Minson right there and Justin Fuller. Maybe they're thinking that track position means a lot. And here we go. Let's watch old Joey Katina in the back. Got that Sim500 machine. Green flag in the air. Here we go, Harris, as they storm off into turn one. Listen to the rumble of those trucks. I call them the monster trucks out here. Justin Fuller, he's going to take it 2x2 into the turn, as he's going to bring along with him Mike Kelly, Malik Ray, Bobby Terrell, E.J. O'Rourke, to name a few. They're all going to come storming up through there.
Absolutely. I think Thomas J. George, Steve Minson both stay out if I'm not mistaken. That 51 of Justin Fuller did come down pit road, bringing Mike Kelly with him. You could just see that center speed. They weren't green for that long, but that just shows you, just imagine how important tires are at the end of a run. We didn't go that far, and already it was so clear just how much more grip that 51 had in the center of the corner. The 2 as well, Mike Kelly right there.
There it is, bringing the Tonka machine to the front. Man, it's got Tonkas coming up there. Skittles right behind him. Snap-on. So we got popcorn, Skittles, Tonkas, and a bunch of tools. Wow, I love those sponsors out there.
It's some nice looking trucks. You always like to see some different colors. Oh, caution somewhere. I think it started somewhere in the top 10.
Joey Katina is involved in that one. We actually got a bird's eye view of it right there. when we were watching it. So let's go back on the replay. As I know, I was watching side by side, letting the viewers watch an awesome battle going on back there. And yeah, that's a huge one. 74's involved in with it. Joey skimmed by the hair of his teeth, but he got some damage. Let's go back one more time here to see exactly what happened. I think some of that was
Michael.
Yeah. What's that?
Michael Guest, the 74, it started right around him. You know, he's making some moves trying to get through the field, and he was right behind Scott Simley. Simley was about a truck width off the wall, and you know, Michael went for a gap. Michael's thinking there, it's not I'm going to wreck the guy in front of me. It's, oh, there's going to be a gap on the right side here entering 3. I'm going to drive it really deep into turn 3 to get above him, but it just wasn't there. Got into the right rear of the 68. Michael Guest claimed that caution as his own, apologized for causing that, but it hooked the 68 into the wall, and then, you know, what goes in the wall must come off of it.
Yep. Yeah, we're watching the replay right here. I'm going to slow it down for the folks here. It just got right in the back of it, like you said. Nowhere to go because it was a storm, almost like a Daytona pile-up right there. And once that happens, that track, just everybody in place. The 8's involved, 68's there. Joey Katina barely making it through. Got a little bit of side damage from the 54 there. But Michael, yeah, he's a little tore up, unfortunate, because he was coming through the field.
Yeah, that's a... Oof. We'll have to see how his truck is at being able to keep up once we go back green. But yeah, I felt like he had he would have contended for the win. Now I'm not so sure. I'm not sure if that truck has it in it with the amount of damage he has to fix.
Now, here's the thing. That's the dangers about being in the back middle of the pack. You just never know what's going to happen back there. It's just an unknown. It's almost just like what we talk about with the plate track style racing. You just never know.
Yeah, it's just there's so many variables. You know, you're around traffic. You're, sometimes you can really control your destiny. Sometimes you're in positions that you don't want to be in. Michael Guest there, he'll watch the tape and realize, ooh, I should have done that differently. But it's not so easy in the moment. You know, it's like a fighter pilot. Everything's just coming at you.
Yep, absolutely. Well, here we go. We're running lap 34 here, 130. It's been a good one so far. I feel it's been a good one. How's all the people out there feel? You feel it's been a pretty good one here so far there, Harris?
I'm liking it. We've seen a lot of racing. The momentum of this race has been slowed down a little bit recent laps with these couple of cautions, but I'm confident that we're going to get some green racing again, and it's going to be a good one. The dynamics of this racetrack and the way the setup changes over the course of a run, I'm looking forward to seeing how it changes how this race looks.
Absolutely. Well, the man out front's loving it. That 51 machine, Justin Fuller, is he still in control of this? Mike Kelly right there behind him. Thomas George is another one. EJ O'Rourke has been up front. Scott Formosa rounds out the top 5 here, folks. As when we go back live here, so we're getting set here to go back green flag racing about another lap or so. They're going to be about lap 36 when they cross the line of 130 here tonight, give or take. We still got 32 machines out there roughly, so we got a huge field out here for Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series here in the trucks. I don't know. I just really, it has been just, it's been a typical Atlanta race. I mean, these guys have just gotten loose. They're so close to one another, Harris. You just kind of have to be patient. But you've got to go in the meantime.
Yeah, it's interesting because that dynamic where, you have to be a little bit easier in the race. It's something that you notice a lot where you look at practice times or, say you're running a race and you're trying to lay down a lap in practice. You feel like you're an 18th, 20th place truck. And then you get in the race and you realize, oh, I have a little bit more than I thought because, it's just everyone drives a little bit differently when you get into the race. You have to. You don't have all that room to really stretch your legs or stretch the truck's legs. I don't know. I'll speak English at some point tonight, but it's just different. It's a different feel. A lot of times it'll get in your head and you'll feel like the truck is driving different as a result. And it's because you're driving it different. And but I think right now, a safe place to be is up front. That's why Justin Fuller up there, everything feels the same to him right now. He's had open track for a lot of this race. Made a couple of passes to get that open track, though, and bringing him down in the lead with Mike Kelly next to him.
Yeah, it is. Well, pace car darts off on the pit road. Here we go. Justin Fuller's going to pull him off. We're going to ride here on the side to side, give you a view of what's going on out back here. Kind of helps out me and Harris up here because we got a lot of action up front in the middle. Keep everybody in tune of what's happening, of going on throughout the whole entire field. As Justin Fuller checks out of this one, Thomas George got his hands full with Mike Kelly. Scott Formosa, they are still stacked up, double file coming down the backstretch.
Oh, yeah, a lot of racing. And I was looking at the back for a second because there were a bunch of damaged trucks right at the very back of the field. Joey Catino wasn't as damaged. He had more motor and went right into the middle and went by like 7 trucks. And Joey Catino just passed a bunch. But look at all that side-by-side racing all the way from like 2nd back to like 15th.
Absolutely, and that's the thing about it is the viewers out there not missing a lot of the action out here, being able to see what's happening here on the side to side, because up front we got a huge battle for second place. That's Mike Fuller and the number 2 machine. The 5 machines on the inside of him. Thomas George falls off just a little bit because here comes E.J. O'Rourke on the high side, and Scott Formosa, excuse me. And here comes Pedro Mega. We call it the Mega Machine, and he's bringing it to the front.
Yeah, the Mega Machine's looking for mega dollars. 48. I mean, he was, not that long ago we saw him starting about 24th. I'll have to look at the result sheet to see where he at. He came from 27th, actually.
Nice.
But he's gained 21 spots so far as he goes underneath the 80 Formosa. Formosa drives up the track to give the extra room. This is going to put Pedro into 5th.
Yes, it is. Boy, we talk about, we said Pedro Mega got a mega machine making mega moves right now as he pulls it up into the 5th spot. He's all over that tailgate and a tailgate party there of the 5 machine of Thomas George. Good, huge battle going on right now for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place spot. Wow, if this racing doesn't get you excited, you might need to check your heart rate because I don't know what's wrong with you.
Oh, absolutely. And Pedro Mega, I mentioned I'm from New Jersey earlier. Pedro Mega, the only driver from New Jersey in this one, a little bit north of where I am, but you know what they say is that maybe there's something in the water. Got them all chomping at the bit for some loose action here in a few laps. Wants to get to that long run.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Definitely some good action going on. Pedro's on the move. He's up to 4th spot. He's looking for more on E.J. O'Rourke inside, but you still got that 5 of Thomas George trying to hang on the 6th spot. He got Scott Formosa on the high side, and coming around him also, there's Chad Coleman to the front. The 7 machine of Bobby Terrell's up there. So right now, though, the 5 machine's not looking like he's got the grip that he needs.
No, not at all. Thomas George fading back, he's wishing he had pitted when he stayed out that one time because the tires were certainly more of a factor than he predicted. When Pedro Mega into 3rd now, when he was making that pass on E.J. O'Rourke, I couldn't help but notice Pedro will drive it in. He drives deep into these corners, and, as much as that looks like it hurts the tires, a lot of times it does. Sometimes it doesn't. I've noticed sometimes you back off a little bit early for the corner. It takes it like... It moves, it shifts the weight around off of the right front tire. Suddenly, instead of like hooking into the corner with a little bit of rotation, you're making yourself tight by lifting earlier. And so that's one of those things where it might work out for Pedro. He might not be hurting his right front, driving it in the way he is. We'll just have to see as we go deeper into this run.
Absolutely. Well, folks, I just noticed down in the far corner there, my Sim500 logo, nobody said it out in the chat, was upside down. I think I just flipped it now for you, so should look at the right way. So let me know what it looks like. Actually, I'm going to check on my thing here to make sure it looks okay. It's kind of small.
That's all right. We're just trying to make sure everyone's paying attention. Ooh, Chad Coleman way loose. He's going to save that. But Chad Coleman in the 20 truck, he was running in 5th, just hooked the apron, going through 1 and 2. He didn't get loose before he hit the apron. He got loose because he was all over the apron, and he saved it. But that's, he's going to be about 14th, 15th when it's all said and done after 1 lap. Yeah, back to 12 for Chad Coleman.
Yeah.
Back
Absolutely.
to 12. Yeah, back to 12 for Chad Coleman. And he was giving EJ advice, don't go down there. Chad being a friendly competitor there with the Georgia colors. Right in front of Chad Coleman in the 20, we mentioned Brian Cook a little bit. Brian Cook, the social media guy for Joe Gibbs Racing. Boris from JGR, kind of well known if you use Twitter, but Boris from JGR rocking, he's not rocking. He is driving a Toyota Tundra, which makes sense, being an employee of Joe Gibbs Racing. But he's rocking the Jurassic Park look. Reminds me of those 1994 Ford Explorers, if I had the year right. But just, trying to avoid the T-Rexes in this one. This is Chad Coleman in the 20s looking to go back underneath him for position number 11.
Yeah, good battle still going on up front here. Chad Coleman still trying to hang on to it. You got Justin Fuller out front. It's just battles all over the place here, Harris. I don't know. Wow.
Yeah, side by side for 6th or so. Scott Formosa's working underneath EJ O'Rourke. EJ fading a little bit. Malik Ray running 5th. Kind of wondering if Malik was able to avoid damage. Not sure if he ever got involved, but it just seemed like he was right in the middle of the pack as all that went down. Looks like his truck is clean. He was able to stay away from all that earlier. But Malik Ray, it's hard to bet against him in this one. We saw Malik was very, very close to Michael Guest's pace when we were looking at Chicago. And Malik, he got a top 5 last week. I believe he finished 2nd or 3rd. I believe it was 3rd. But 2nd at Chicago, another top 5 last week. Right now running 4th. Chasing down the leaders as the lead battle is on, actually. Pedro Mega working the 51 of Fuller, sliding up a little bit out of turn number 4, but that's a tight battle there between the 48 of Mega and the 51 of Fuller.
Yeah, it is, and they go side by side, and they still door-to-door coming to the line, beating them, banging as they go into turn number 1. You're right, Pedro on the inside, the 51 of my Justin Fuller on the high side here, and we're watching the battles in the backside. So you're watching this awesome battle because they scoot off down the back stretch here for the lead. And watch some huge ones going off in the back end of the field. They still will come out of the turn here side by side.
Yeah, the 48 is trying to use all the racetrack that he can. He just can't quite clear Fuller and got tight there coming out of turn number 4. That's going to give that 51 truck a big run down the front stretch. Almost able to clear the 48 Mega, not quite though. But you see, Pedro's working that middle groove about as much as he can, but Fuller working that high side to get back in the lead. But this lead battle is not over. The 48 most certainly is going to make another run at him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're talking about it too right here. The one thing you got to think about is those guys up there, they just brought old Mike Kelly into the party here with them a little bit. So Pedro's got to keep that in mind as he's going to try it again. Look on the inside. This might hurt his tires. If he can't get that pass made, he's going to have to think about tire wear, because up top, the 51, I believe right now, as the tires wear out, Harris, I think that top side is the place to be, the momentum coming off the turn.
Oh yeah, and that's a great line to run for tire wear, avoiding it in 1 and 2. You often see high side coming in 1 and 2, not always in 3 and 4, but Fuller's really working it well. A little bit sideways out of turn number 4 there, though. The 48's going to try underneath again. Mike Kelly in the 2 truck sticks with the high side, and he will stay on the high side. But Pedro, if he can get to the lead, I think he has the speed to drive away for a little bit. The question is for how long. 51 does bobble coming out of 2, though.
He does. Well, got a little bit of high and wide there, and a little bit, that might open the door up for the 48. He's going to get it done. He's going to be able to use that high side coming in. He's going to be able to drift up coming off the turn, which is what he's been needing to do. Yep, look at that. Coming off the turn, he's going to be able to go up high and let that truck kind of drift and come up there and use the high line, which he wasn't able to do as long as when he was side by side with the 51 machine. So now Pedro Mega bringing this thing to the front. Wow, what a power move in the 48 machine.
Absolutely. And such a difference in lines. Even as they get single file here, you see the drivers doing, very different lines here, trying to work their tires, work the speed of these trucks. Pedro holding more center speed. The question is, will he get tight? As you said, those side-by-side battles don't help because you got to use more wheel to keep off of the truck above you. So, but right now it's looking good.
Yeah, it is. In 51, I'm going to tell you what, Justin Fuller, watch him right now. He's got his hands full with that truck coming out of the turns. It wanting to step out from under him every time he comes out of these things. Awesome run, though, but Pedro is looking good. Mike Kelly's still right there in the mix in the Tonka machine and that number 2 truck. He's trying to hang on to it. But I'm watching that 51, and look who's sneaking up into the pack here. Don't count out, hold your breath. Here comes the 1 of Malik Ray.
Yeah, all that racing has brought that 1 truck right up to them. And I do think he was a little faster than them to begin with. But, something I'm wondering about with Justin Fuller is I wonder if he was trying to save his right rear tire some, and then as the track has loosened up, I wonder if it's made him looser than he wanted to be because he didn't expect to loosen up as much as he did. But it's a little bit hard to tell from up here because, we've seen some bobbles. We've seen him get loose a little bit, but for the most part, he's driving it smoothly. Oh, gets really loose out of turn 4 there, though. That was a little bit more obvious. A lot of sideways there for the 51 truck, but even so, the 2 truck didn't gain much on him because the number 1 of Malik Ray's working on Mike Kelly for 3rd.
It is. Mike Kelly's got his hands full with that 1 machine. So you got 1 and 2 right there side by side. That's actually Malik Ray as he pushes up the track to 2. What I'm starting to see now, Harris, is these guys are getting very, very wiggly and awful, flirting with disaster coming out of the turns with those rear ends of the trucks.
Oh, absolutely. Flirt with disaster. I'm going to have Molly Hatch in my head for the rest of the night as we watch Malik Ray try to work on getting to these leaders. But, that's one thing where, in my racing experience, I've had races where I'll drive extra deep into corners because of how, Fuller, 51, way loose. Looks like everyone else able to avoid him. Malik Ray was running a pretty high line himself. But that's a lot. That's going to cost Fuller close to a second and a half or so. Big loose. Think he kept it off the wall. Saw a little bit of lag right as he was against the wall, so he might have gotten into it without me knowing. But right now, the 51 still loose. He got it so loose in 1 and 2, and what it does is it just skyrockets that temperature, and he's out of control, and he's just trying to get it to come back. He's just doing all he can to get it tighter again. But one thing that might be helping Pedro is he might be driving extra deep in order to put more emphasis on the right front tire so that it doesn't get loose. Meanwhile, the 51 truck is still skating around.
Yeah, I got a feeling that some of those tires are just starting to give away, like we were saying before.
Yeah, that just looks hard to drive. And Fuller's, I don't know if he's just hoping it comes back to him or if he gets a caution so he could get some tires and try again. But that 51 looks like the hardest thing to drive on the whole racetrack right now. And he's running way high to not use much steering wheel input at all. And it seems like the truck's coming back to him, but it is not happy at all.
Nope, definitely not. Truck not happy, driver not happy right now, probably the crew's not happy. But out front, a man that's Pedro Mega. Got the Mega machine going, flying high here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, folks, for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series, Winter Series here tonight. And that 48's looking to cash in on the money right there. Pedro, awesome. Malik Ray, though, says, I'm going to try to run you down the best I can, but he's skating all the... That's what I'm seeing. All these trucks are starting. I think we're going to have some green flag stops here soon, Harris.
I think you're right. And as you were saying about Pedro Mega skating at the same exact time, the 51 of Fuller did a big skate out of turn 2. Actually pretty much lost it without spinning out. Brought it right down to the underneath the white line onto the apron of the racetrack in 1 and 2. Now he's getting passed for about 10th, 11th. He was getting past 410, now running 11th in front of Steve Gottschalk. But Fuller... this is something that I did not predict. I did not think he was going to get this loose.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't either. I mean, right now, a really good one. As old E.J. O'Rourke, he's maintaining right there in the 5th spot. He's got his hands full. If he looks in his rear view mirror, he's got Scott Formosa right there, and Thomas George closing in on him. And he's trying to run down that 20th to number 20 machine there, Chad Coleman, who is in 4th place. So we got a good battle about to brew here. Bobby Terrell's up there. James Pescarella. Oh, I said that right anyways on that one. And Nicholas Cohan rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, Nick Cohan, we spoke about him a lot the last couple of weeks, and he's had very up and down races. It seems like he'll recover for a finish, but I more than a few times we've seen him try a different strategy, have a lot of speed, end up choosing the wrong strategy, fall back into the 20s, have to recover, get caught short pitting. It's just it's always interesting with Nick Cohan.
Absolutely. John out in chat says Nerf truck. Yep, got a Nerf truck out here. We got a lot of cool looking paint jobs. We'll try to get to if they go through some green flag stops, we'll try to do my OSRNetwork run down order here, show off some of these trucks as they've been pretty good. Right now got a lot of good battles going on throughout the whole entire field, as he's referring to the Nerf truck, who is actually
Scott Gottschalk.
Yeah.
Steve Gottschalk, number 91. Steve, I'm sorry. I know your name is Steve, I promise.
Yeah, we got the Steve part down, Pat. I'm not sure about that last one.
Yeah. I saw Gott and I thought Scott.
Yeah. Well, it's Gottschalk. or got Scott. It's got to be something. It's got, you know, we got to get him up here eventually and talk to him and ask him. Either way, he's got a nerf machine out there. Good looking paint job on that truck, by matter of fact.
Ooh,
that
spin on the
91.
front stretch. I'm sorry.
Oh, what we got? Oh, that's,
I'm not sure
that's Pedro.
Oh, Pedro around. It's not going to bring out a caution. He kept it in the grass, and he's got it going straight. So I think he kept it off the wall, but, he just lost a lot of track position. He's going to be running about 15th.
Yeah, let's go back on the replay here. Let the viewers see what happened, because that's actually a leader. Let's go back one more time here. It's ahead of the thing. But, yeah, that he had a huge lead, was out there. Could be a product of what we were talking about. We were starting to see these trucks get very, very wiggly coming out of the turns there, Harris. And along with that, yeah, he just came out of turn 4. Oh, he does bounce off the outside wall. Wow, Malik Ray barely making it by. So he does take some damage to the front of that truck. It's going to be unfortunate on him, because he had a bad, fast machine out there.
But you know what that reminds me of? Eric Jones, the Cup Series driver. A lot of people remember he actually debuted when Kyle Busch was injured, and he drove Kyle Busch's car at Kansas, I believe it was. And Eric Jones was the fastest guy on the track in the long run, driving Kyle Busch's car, got up to about 4th place, did the same exact thing. You're just on that edge, you're on that right rear tire, and it's almost identical. Got a little bit loose and overcorrected right into the outside wall. And it's, I think Pedro will be able to recover a little bit better than Eric Jones was able to, because Eric Jones was out of the race at that point. Pedro's truck still running, but that forced his hand into pitting a little bit earlier than he was going to, and I'm not sure what to expect out of a 48, but I think passing cars is something to expect.
Yeah, like what John out there in chat said, mega drama. Yeah, definitely some mega drama for Pedro. Hated on his end because he had a good truck, definitely out front, was flying high, and like what you just said, Harris, a little product just out there was running very good, was pushing the truck, and it just all of a sudden we started seeing guys like Fuller and company was losing these things. I think it's going to be not too long. I think here comes Malik Ray. He thought about, Malik's coming out of turn 4. Look at these guys. They're barely hanging on to those things.
Yeah, and one guy who's done a good job, 2.6 seconds out of lead. Actually, the fastest guy on the track right now is a guy by the name of Chad Coleman. We saw him get loose, fall to 12th. He got his, he retained his marbles, started driving back through the field. I noticed he was up to 4th with Pedro's troubles. Now Chad Coleman's in 3rd. So that's a gain of 9 spots there for that 20 truck.
That's an awesome shot, or awesome thing right there. Definitely Chad Coleman's up in 3rd, looking good. And it's this is Atlanta. They call it hot Atlanta, and I guess it's a good reason, because we're always starting seeing these trucks get a little hot, get a little slick out here, as we're live for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series here, folks. Definitely been a very interesting race, we'll put it that way, as we're under some green flag pit stops. That's going to split this field up quite a bit here, Harris, as we're at lap 69 and 130.
Yeah, especially because Malik Ray has more competition than he thought he would have at this stage of the run. Well, that's a guess on my part, but Mike Kelly, it's a little bit of a surprise to me, so I'm just assuming it's a little bit of a surprise to Malik. Mike Kelly's running faster than Malik Ray right now, running second, less than 0.3 of a second off of each other there, and they're running different lines. Kelly's working it as best as he can. Meanwhile, Chad Coleman is chasing down the leader. Kelly and Coleman, similar speed right now, and that makes this matter. When they pit makes all the difference in the world. I don't know if we'll see Mike Kelly might try to, Malik Ray's coming in this time. Mike Kelly stays out, will lead this lap. But I was going to say, Malik doesn't want to get in that position where he pits too late, gives up a lot of track position to Mike Kelly, has to make it back up. Chad Coleman stayed out, Mike Kelly stayed out, but Malik Ray's on pit road.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll tell you, let's go high and wide. We'll go to the Blimpy Cam, and we'll do something we like doing here. We'll give them 2 times the Blimpy Cam here, because everybody likes Blimpy. I like Blimpy. You like Blimpy, Harris?
I'm trying to remember if I've ever been to one here in New Jersey. We have a lot of Jersey Mikes and Subways. And
we got Jersey Mike Subways now, but hey, either way, everybody likes the Blimpy Cam. It's a good overhead shot to show you actually the huge facility here, to show you what these guys, man, are doing, how far apart they are. Gives you just a good perspective of what we're seeing up here in the booth.
Yeah, and even though they're not quite underneath a blanket like they would be if it was a big pack, I can't get enough of seeing trucks that are out of control, watching drivers try to hold on to it. I'm captivated by that. I mean, make no mistake about it. These guys are driving into the corner. It's one into wreck the entire lap. It just does not want to turn, does not want to have any kind of stability at all. I love that.
Yep, you're right, and it's a driver's track. That made any sense there, folks. But it's a track that definitely is going to make way for the driver, and that's pretty much what we're saying here is you got to be able to drive this place. You got to be a heads up, throttle control. You got to hit your marks and everything. So it's just one of those things. I call them driver style tracks, skill tracks in other words, but try not to use that word too much. Kind of want to offend any drivers out here about not having no skill. We don't want to say that.
I understand that, and the pit strategy has my gears turning in my head. Just thinking about, I think we might be seeing a split here between Malik Ray's going with a two-stop strategy, I would assume, because there are about 60 laps to go. I started thinking about whether Mike Kelly and Bobby Terrell and Thomas George, who have stayed out, I'm wondering if they're going to try to make it a one-stop or maybe stay out for a little while, assuming that a caution is going to come at one point with the as we go through all these green flag pit stops. But there's only 10 trucks on the lead lap right now. A lot of guys have made that pit stop already, but Malik Ray slow on the backstretch. Not sure if he actually got into the wall, but I got to see what happened here. That number one, very slow on the backstretch.
Yeah, I don't think those top 10 trucks might have made their pit stops yet.
No, they haven't. Malik Ray actually got stuck in the wall. His truck is not terribly damaged, but Malik Ray, he's got some damage. He just lost a lot of time on the racetrack, just going a little bit too high, exiting turn number 2, losing all that time just down the backstretch until he could get back up to speed.
Wow. John, don't worry. We will definitely get a rundown order here. Let's get through these green flag stops, and definitely want to go through it, and then they'll be swapping them up on me here. Because we got a lot of guys, got about 9 out there that have yet to make a pit stop here. So as we go through it, we definitely will get that rundown here. Guys like that, Harrison. I did it one time in a race once before, and next day I know everybody in the chat says, yeah, do the rundown thing. We love it. What it does is it actually, not only showcase the driver, but it showcases paint jobs out here. A lot of these guys work a lot of hard work in putting out their sponsors, putting out the paint jobs that they do, and some nice looking trucks out here.
Hey, you know what? I don't think NASCAR has a Best Appearing Car award, but if you go to any kind of race around the country, that's a really common thing, Best Appearing Car award. And I love looking at I have a joke with all my friends where anytime I join into a spectator session, I'll pick the best looking car out immediately, give him the award. I like that. I like looking to see the aesthetic of it all.
Oh yeah, nothing wrong with that. As we're watching right now, Mike Kelly's still the man out front. I think he is. Is he taking his pit stop? No, he still hasn't taken that pit stop. That's he's waiting an awful long time.
Yeah, I certainly thought a two-stop strategy, assuming that this would go to the end, would be the way to go. I'm a little bit surprised if people try to stretch at one, especially with how loose they're getting on the long run, how much the trucks are slowing down. Right now, Mike Kelly, 32.755. He went a 32.75 last lap. They qualified. He qualified at a 30.49, so that's 2.25 seconds there.
Well, the thing about it is Malik Ray just went by him to get back on the lead lap, so he's at the tail end of that lead lap. Malik ran a 31.3 the last time by to a 32.7, so he's losing over a second and a half a lap. As we say that, here comes Bobby Terrell down on pit road. I mean, he's going to give it up. If they can make it, and that's what, here we go. Here's Mike Kelly on pit road. Now, if they can go one more stop at that speed, they might be in he got in his pit box. It might be, it's going to be close. Now, caution would mess up everything.
Yeah, he's going to be coming out of the pits with about 51 to go, and I think on fuel that's pretty safe. I think on fuel they could go about 60, but tires are everything. Is he going to be able to hold on to that lead? If this stays green, the guys who are doing the one stop are going to re-inherit the lead when all these guys come down pit road again. But will they be able to hold off those hard chargers at the end of the race? I love that stuff, but I would have predicted two stops here. This run would be the way to go, but I have been wrong, and I might be wrong again.
Well, Rick McBride is the man up front with Sean Dorr right there, and I know Sean likes to stretch these things out. Now, the thing about him, he was caught up on one of those cautions before. He's definitely going to be an off cycle here, so it might play into his hand. Now, the only thing that would mess up any of this that we're talking about here, folks, is obviously a caution later on. This is all dependent on if this thing goes green the entire time, like it has here so far. And I got to admit, right now, Harris, we've got 31 trucks out here out of 38 still running in this thing. Very impressed by the professionalism and the driving, and as treacherous as this track and the truck is becoming as they go on, to be able to maintain and keep this thing green like it is.
Yeah, absolutely. The last 50 laps have flown by, but we've been green for over 50 laps now. And, right before we went back green, I was thinking, oh, we'll get green laps at some point. Eventually, it's going to happen. I didn't expect to have it now. These last 50 laps have flown by, and there's some air on the racetrack. People are fighting the racetrack more than they're fighting each other, and that's what brings some great racing. Oh, and the caution's out, just as I was saying that.
Well, you know what though? Who this benefits? Rick McBride. Wow, because he had yet to make his pit stop.
That's a big boost for Rhett McBride. And I kept talking about Rhett McBride at Chicago. It seemed like he had all the speed in the world, just didn't quite have the track position at various points of the race. And the caution, the 51 truck of Justin Fuller.
Is it him? I see E.J. O'Rourke hit the wall also. That's where Iracing took me. Was it the 51?
Oh, wow. The 41 did get into the wall. I don't think the 41 brought out the caution getting into the wall, but yeah, right after the 41 got in the wall, Fuller got in the wall and then spun out.
Well, tight. Yeah, he just looked like he got tight, slammed that wall. I'll tell you what, that's some heavy hitters. E.J. O'Rourke, Malik Ray, Michael Guest, Justin Fuller. Well, now it's going to be a who's who of ball games up here. Pedro got a little damage up there. This might be turning out to be one of these races that could be anything. Now, the problem is here too, Harris, Rick McBride stayed out. He's going to be, kind of a lucky recipient here. There's a lot of good trucks called a lap down. Justin Fuller's one of them. E.J. O'Rourke's another. They're going to have to take those waiver rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. One good thing for Pedro Mega is that he was on the lead lap, but he does have that right front damage, as you pointed out. I think Chad Coleman might have the best looking truck, not paint scheme wise, although maybe paint scheme wise, but as far as damage is concerned, Coleman might have the least damage of everyone in the top 5, top 10 right now, who look like they have that speed that's capable of winning this race.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Rick knows he was right place, right time.
Yeah, that's exactly how you plan it out. When you have him pitted, this is exactly what you want to see. And just a call out to Rhett McBride, not only has he run well this year, but I kind of like that truck, that black 78 with the gold.
And he had a good qualifying start. He started 13th out here tonight. He's already led 6 laps. And you're right, got a good one here. So good thing about it is when these guys get going, and I know they're under caution right now. So they'll all get fanned back out here, get them all out of the pit road. A lot of guys are going to take the wave around, or Justin Fuller, though, is the one that's probably going to get hurt the worst. He was a lap down, but he was the cause of the caution. So he won't get that wave around.
Yeah, I had a lot of high hopes or higher expectations for that 51 of Fuller. But it just hasn't really worked out for him, which is a bit surprising because, similarly, I think Chicago was a place where they were really fighting the trucks there too. And so you kind of expect it to cross over where a lot of people who are good at Chicago would be, completely at home here at Atlanta. But it just goes to show you, it could be similar, but just the little tiny changes in track geometry just really change everything.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's do this. We'll since we're here running single file, let's get us to one of those OSRNetworks. We'll try to get the most as we can here, folks, as we're going to run down and show off a lot of these paints here tonight, because that guy right there, he is out front. Rick McBride looking very good. Started 13th, currently out front. He's going to right behind him, Chad Coleman in second. Third place, Pedro Megas back up behind the Mega Machine. Started 27th. He's riding high, sitting in third. Fourth place man, Nicholas Cohan looking good. Started 32nd, currently sitting in fourth. Fifth place, Mike Kelly. He's been able to bring the Tonka machine up there. 6th place, Kevin Pearson, looking good there. Also 7th place, Steven Gosscock. He's got the Nerf machine, and hopefully we're saying the last name right there, but currently in 7th spot. 8th place, Sean Dorr. Old school motorsports man, started 20th, currently sitting in 8th. 9th place man, James Pascarella, sitting in 9th place. Wow, it's a handful on that last one right there, but a good-looking truck nonetheless in 9th. 10th place, actually it's in 11th, Bobby Terrell right now. 10th place, Malik Ray in the Skittle machine. 12th place, Thomas George. 13th, E.J. O'Rourke. We got Braden Whitaker in the 14th spot. 15th, Chris Gaboo. Brian Workman right there in 16th. 17th, Bobby Wetzel. And 18th, 17th, Don Roberts. 19th, Scott Formosa. 20th place, Patrick Colby. 24th place sitting is Justin Fuller, unfortunately way back there. 21st, Michael Guest. Wow, all tore up. Joey Katina sitting 22nd. 23rd, Brian Cook. We got Jason Swan in 25th spot. 26th, Paul Nicholas Cooper. 27th, Ed Burrell. 28th, Jonathan Lockhart. 29th, Milt Batiste, and that's going to round out our field because the rest of these guys are out of the race as of right now. And that's going to bring us all the way back up to our lead man, Rick McBride, as the lights are off and we're getting set to go back green flag racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Harris, awesome looking trucks out there as pace car dives off. We'll see what Rick can do up front with Chad Coleman up there. See if he can hang on to this one, and hopefully he has a good start.
Yeah, Red McBride, I didn't really see where he was running earlier in this race, but, he had a lot of speed in Chicago. I have to think that he's going to have a pretty good amount of speed here in Atlanta as a result. But Chad Coleman restarted in second, going to be battling from second. And if we have a long run to end this race, I got to look at the 20 truck because his speed was great. And, Malik now has a little bit of damage. The 20 having a little bit of trouble, though, getting bobbled up in traffic. Pedro Mega, the 48. He's thinking about 3 wide, but he doesn't actually do it there. But the 57 of Coleman up to second. Coleman's going to be back to third. We saw him lose a lot of track position earlier, so the main thing for Coleman is avoid that white line on the bottom of the racetrack here so you don't lose more than you have to. But the 10 truck still above him there. That's Kevin Pearson, who was run into last week at Talladega. Daytona, excuse me. I think I erroneously said that he might have got loose under braking, but that was as I was warping out. I was actually elsewhere last week trying to do it from a laptop, and it did not work out. But Kevin Pearson, a little bit of salvage going on, or not salvage, but he's just trying to make up for last week.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got to Chad Coleman was battling on right there with Pedro Mega. I think that damage is going to hinder him just a little bit. He got Mike Kelly right there on the inside. Wow, boy, awesome move. Really, really close as they almost beat each other to death there coming into the turn. Good battle going on here at the Harris, man, between the 5th, 6th, and 7th and 8th spot.
Yeah, I feel like Mike Kelly is getting more and more aggressive. That was an aggressive move entering turn 3. Pedro knows how to be aggressive himself, and I think a lot of times, sometimes when you get 2 aggressive drivers in the same place, it could spell trouble. Other times, they know what to expect from each other, and everything's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're looking here, giving a side-by-side for the viewers in the back here. Good mix of cars back there. Don Roberts, Scott Formosa, Bobby Wetzel in the back there, 17, 18, 19 respectively. But still got a battle going on up front here as they are single file here. Rick McBride still out front. He's got about as of right now, he's got about a 10th lead because that 57 and Nicholas Cohan is all over his back tailgate trying to take that spot away.
Yeah, Nick Cohan, that's another driver where we haven't seen a lot from him tonight. Saw him get into the top 10 running 8th, 9th. Certainly the pit strategy here has given him the track position. Looks like they have the speed to keep a pretty good amount of track position, keep themselves up there. But, as kind of we've said all race long, changes throughout a run. It's just a constantly moving needle pretty much of what you're aiming for. But at 57, we see Rhett McBride running the low side of the track. 57 of Cohan hanging more in the middle of the racetrack, getting those big runs on the straightaway. Backs off a little bit before making a move on the bottom. But I think 57, Nick Cohan's pretty comfortable where he's at right now, and he's just hoping he's using less tire than the car in front of him, the truck in front of him.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's right there in his tire tracks there. Rick McBride, Rick out front looking good. Chad Coleman, he in the backside. So you got the top three machines there. Pedro Omega's trying to keep up with him. He's about a 1.1 second gap back in that 48. So still a good battle going on up front here as we're watching some good battling going on in the back of the field here. So again, we're back at it. Battles in the front, battles in the back, battles all over the place.
That's right. Stuck in the middle with you. I started thinking about those lyrics. I can't remember some of them right now. But Malik Ray 9th. I just saw Bobby Terrell on the racetrack. He is on the lead lap in 10th. Don't believe he has any damage. I think he just got a little bit messed up on the pit strategy there. But be interested to see what he has too. It looks like Bobby Terrell, our pole sitter, he had a pretty good amount of speed, but it looked like he was hanging around 3rd and 4th. Didn't look like he quite had the long run pace that Chad Coleman had, or Mike Kelly, or Malik Ray for that matter. But I have to think Malik Ray, by the way, the number 1 truck just got really loose coming out of turn 4. Not enough to lose a heck of a lot of momentum, but I get the feeling that damage is certainly affecting that number 1 truck.
Yep, absolutely. Well, they got a pass for the lead in the meantime up front. That's right. Nicholas Cohan made it with ease around Rick McBride right there as he took it around. Here comes Chad Coleman. You was talking about Malik Ray there. We'll see what he's doing in the back here. Just to kind of give the viewers an idea, because up front, Rick McBride's got his hands full with the 20 machine. As he looks on the inside, they come to the line this time by. We got 35 to go here. Pedro's trying to make some time up back there as he passes Mike Kelly for that position. As the 20 and the 78 will go side by side coming out of 2 here. Harris, they will storm off the back stretch back there. They will still be duking it out side by side into 3.
Yeah, and you know, Chad Coleman in that number 20, as he's working here at Red McBride, I feel like he will complete the pass. He's looking a little bit rough on this straightaway. Chad may not like this comparison too much from me. He knows all full and well that I'm a big Martin Truex fan. I have been for almost 15 years, and it gives me some crap for it. But you know what? Chad Coleman, he kind of reminds me a little of a Martin Truex. When he hits exactly what a combination wants, you know, we've seen Truex, you know, win races on restarts or whatever, but I think there's no secret that his strengths are long runs, getting into a rhythm, knowing what the car wants over the course of a long run. When Chad nails it, it's the same thing. He just looks like he's so much faster than the trucks that he's around right now. It's like if this race goes green, there's little doubt in my mind that the 20 truck is going to win this race. But obviously there are a lot of factors at play here that can change that. But look at that 20 just coming up on Nick Cohan. I just feel like Mike Kelly could match his pace, but I don't think Mike Kelly has enough time to really get to Chad Coleman this race. They're just too close on speed.
Yeah, they are close right there, and definitely good-looking trucks up there with a bunch of Toyotas there. The 57, Nicholas Cohan, and then you also got the 20 of Chad Coleman. We're watching out in the backside, Ed Burrell. This guy we haven't really spoke much of. 3 laps down, 27. A slew of trucks back there. You got Brian Boris Cook, Joey Katina, Justin Fuller back there, Michael Guest still a lead, only a lap down, and he's still back there just trying to truck around for points. Why not? He's out here trying to maybe, hopefully at the end of this one, run for a title here. You know, points definitely are a matter, as he's currently in a 21st position. He can make up some more spots. He actually can get as high right now as 17th. So, I mean, that's a lot of positions to make up. He's got to battle for the lead.
Yeah, all those points matter. Each and every point matters, and I don't know if NASCAR still does it, but for years they had a Goodies Headache Powder or Driver of the Race award. Whoever had trouble, they give him an award, and you know, Michael Guest, you know, because he's sticking it out here. It might be one of those types of races for him where he gets done with this, has a little bit of a headache.
Yeah, well, I'd call it the Hard Charger Award. You remember that one too? They used to give it to the Hard Charger of the race.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I used to love all the watching that stuff. The kind of old school type stuff they used to do. And I'm going to say right now, probably Pedro Omega would probably be the one with that Hard Charger Award, because he has definitely just maintained and tried to stay where he's at. He's got Mike Kelly all over his back deck lid right now. So it's a very good battle going on for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Rick McBride's in that one. I think that damage on the front of that 48 is going to hinder him just a little bit here on the straightaways.
Yeah, I've been seeing it a little bit on the straightaway, and you know, the 2 truck gets a run to his outside. Meanwhile, 20 of Coleman going for the lead on the bottom, not able to clear him yet, but they're side by side for the lead, side by side for 3rd. looks like Mike Kelly's going to be able to clear Pedro and be able to put some distance on him in the 48. But if Chad's not able to get around that 57 of Cohan, it makes it easier for Mike Kelly to get to him, and that could bring us a lead battle on our hands. I have to think that the drivers are not going to pit. If they were going to pit, they'd have to pit in about a lap or two to split this run down the middle, or within 5 laps. I think pit strategy is to stay out.
That caution helped.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Caution helped. Yeah, I mean, that caution kind of mixed up a lot of what we were talking about earlier on there, Harris, about you want to talk about guys making it a whole entire way. It's got a battle for the lead up here, and we're sitting on the side to side here for the folks. But, yeah, I mean, I think that caution really, now it put a nail in the coffin of who's going to make it, and I think, as of right now, Chad Coleman and the man up front, Nicholas Cohan, are probably the two right now in the catbird seat, so to speak, at looking good to the end of this one with 26 to go.
Oh, absolutely. Chad Coleman to the lead. For some reason, I thought this run would have been about 50 laps to the finish. It's actually more like 43. So I was wondering if we would see some people pit around lap 25 just trying to take advantage of something, but I had my lap count wrong, so even less time than I thought on this run. Someone in the grass.
25. Yeah. Oh, what we got in the grass?
Oh, but it's not going to bring out a caution, I don't think. But the 84, Jimmy North, was in the grass. Now he's on pit road, backwards, so he's going to spin it around and
mowing the grass out there with a V8 lawnmower.
Yeah, it looks like he just got loose out of turn 4, went in the grass, brought it to pit road, might have a black flag to clear because it went on a pit road past the commitment cone, but he's going to pull it into his pit stall. But Chad Coleman, this is a scenario now where he's just hoping for no cautions. He knows, he was watching the F2, the F3 screen, the live leaderboard for the people at home who maybe don't play Iracing, but make no mistake about it, he was paying attention to exactly how fast he was against the leaders. He knows what he has in the tank. He knows what he can do, how much he can save, how much he has to push it to retain this track position. He's hoping for no yellows. When they come to the line, it's going to be 23 laps to go for the number 20 truck. He's looking for that first win of the season.
Yep, you're 100% right. Oh, look at Mike Kelly, though. That's another one on a move right now, and that 2 Tonka machine, as he's pulling up on Nicholas Cohan. He might be going to try to set his sights on that 20 up there as we're watching a good battle brewing back here. That's actually way back. I'm going to get a number of the number of trucks back there if I can. That's way back in the back. They're in the wall back there too, but they were all 2x2 on the backside.
Yeah, and I didn't catch who it was. I mean, there's a lot of battling here going on for 7th. That Nerf truck, by the way, Steve Gottschalk got into 7th, but there's a couple of trucks, Malik Gray and another gentleman behind him, all over him. Malik Gray actually about to get the spot. Kevin Pearson stuck up in Gottschalk, but too, I also want to mention that although I'm speaking a lot about how fast a lot of these guys were in a previous run, with everyone being as loose as they are, a lot of times people will change how much fuel they add when they don't need to go an entire fuel run. There's a little strategy in that. Some people will leave less fuel than others, try to get the balance right on the truck. It's about the only adjustment you can make in fixed setup racing. So, that can have a big effect on how the 20 runs this run, how Mike Kelly runs this run. It's not said and done yet.
I'll give you another one here, too, and learned this one, man, with some guys. You talk about how you can get the balance of that truck. Well, only change 3 tires. That definitely makes a balance of a truck, whether it's tight, loose, or whatnot. But you'd only want to do that when there's maybe about 10 to go or 15 to go. You wouldn't want to do it with a 30-some lap run into it. That would be asking for a disaster. But those are some of the tricks that you can do. Some of the guys I've heard, like you said, with fuel and everything else. Obviously, on a road course, brake bias would come into play, to which you can adjust there.
Oh, absolutely. I think from you can go 3% on the brake bias in either direction, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like that. It's been a while since I've been on it, but I know that is something that definitely can settle a car down, truck down for you heading off into the turns. Definitely help you out. The balance of one, as we're still watching, that's Kevin Pearson. Look at him moving it up there in that 8th spot, looking very good right now in that number 10 truck.
Yeah, nice run for Kevin Pearson. He's got Hertz Donut on the truck. That's a bit of an old joke, but we'll let it slide.
Yeah,
Hertz Donut.
I'm showing midline.
Oh, maybe I'm out of date.
Well, hey, either way, I mean, it might be a donut. Might be
he's
on my
got one
end.
of those. He could have that chrome illusion paint just changing on us between us.
Yeah, that's it. There you go. or you're just getting hungry. That's what it is.
Yeah, like a mirage in the desert. I have not had dinner yet. You're right.
Oh, well, you know what? He's got milk coming up beside him. So if it is the donuts that you're seeing, the donuts and milk sounds pretty good. And that's that number 7, Bobby Terrell, pulling it up there on the inside of him, trying to take that 8th spot away. He's going to do it right now as he slides up in front of him.
Yeah, Bobby Terrell gets that spot with authority.
Yes.
Now he's looking at the Nerf truck in front of him. And Chad Cole, speaking of drivers toughing it out, as we were talking about Michael Guest before, Chad Cole in the number 8, very damaged. 15 laps down in 29th, but he's out there getting some points for that number 8 diehard machine.
Yeah, Chad Cole. Not tonight he wanted, but he's still out there trucking around. Jonathan Lockhart's another one out there, and we was talking about Ed Burrow a little bit ago. So they had some guys out there, man, that just not had the nights that they wanted. But the man on the move, Bobby Terrell, he's pulling that thing up there, still currently in 8th, and he's closing in on Steve Gottschalk in the 91 machine. So hang on to it there for a second. He's going to try to get a bite out of the Nerf. That number 7, man, he's flexing his muscles out there now.
Yeah, that's a battle that's heating up, and those two drivers, Gottschalk and Terrell, they've ran against each other for years, so they're really familiar with how each other race. And they both race with a lot of respect. So that's going to be a cool battle. Gottschalk recently won a championship here at Sim500 on the Friday nights, I believe, the Midnight Thunders, or Fast Friday. I don't remember the name of the series, but he won the championship last season. They just started a new season this past Friday, and I know that Steve was pumped about that one, but right now I don't think he's nostalgic for Friday nights right now. He's just nostalgic for trying to keep that truck behind him.
Yeah, he's going to try to keep Bobby right there, but he's closing in. It might be all for naught here as we're closing in on the conclusion of this one here tonight. Atlanta Motor Speedway. That's right, hot Atlanta here for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winner Series here in the trucks. Been a very, very good race so far, and as we say, bad hot track here with some bad fast drivers on the bad fast trucks, and they've done some bad fast speeding around here, so watching a good battle about to happen here for 7th and 8th. Oh, Steve right there in his 91 Nerf machine, and they're closing in on Rick McBride, who is in 6th, and Malik Ray, who is in 5th. So we could have a top battle happen here because Chad Coleman's checking out. He's got a 1.2 second lead over Mike Kelly and Nicholas Cohan up front, and Pedro Mega still hanging on to that 4th place spot.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the best battle. The best battle that I see for track position is around those guys. Chad Coleman's just hoping that it stays green, that the racing gods rain some gold upon him, or some confetti in victory lane. But Malik Ray, Rhett McBride, definitely heating up. That Nerf truck's coming up on them, and Bobby Terrell also getting closer and closer. A big run, actually, now. The 7 truck has a nice run on the 91 of Gottschalk. Looks high, actually, on the straightaway. Thinking about going high in turn 1.
Yeah, it is.
That
right
looks like
there.
he's going for a crossover.
Yeah, well, you're right, and he might be able to pull that off. Had to think about it. We're going to cool them tires down just a little bit as he's going on the low side. 91 takes kind of middle high side. And John Marine out in chat says, yeah, you're right. Hot Atlanta. He's loving it right now. Definitely a very good run these guys are having. Good battle we're about to have. Rick McBride still hanging on to that 6th spot. So those trucks are spread up just a little bit, but they're close enough here, Harris, that if any one of them make a mistake, they'd be on top of each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something on Chad Coleman's mind, of course, is, he's got the distance right now of 1.2 seconds, but we saw Fuller just barely get into the race earlier. Gave up us. We've seen it from Fuller. We've seen it Malik Ray. We've seen it from a lot of guys where they just catch the wall out of 2 that little bit. They lose a second and a half just like that. One straightaway. Don't spin out. Don't wreck. Just catch the wall. Get stuck in it. In fact, just like the 52, I believe that's Patrick Colby, just got passed by Malik Ray on the front stretch. Patrick Colby was a lap truck, but caught the wall right in front of Mike Kelly there. But it wasn't too close. No harm, no foul. Mike Kelly didn't even have to lift for it. But that's the thing that the 20 has to avoid. That's the thing everyone has to avoid because, you can't do that without losing a position.
Yeah, he is. And in the meantime, that 7 did make the pass on the 91 of Steve right there. So Bobby takes that spot for 7th. with ease right there. He came around and probably figured it was just off or not. As we're watching the leader, he's just checking out in his own time zone, zip code up front there. So now that 7's going to try to set his sights on Rick McBride. As they are in a slew of lap traffic, that might play a factor here. I think some people have done some green flag stops.
EJ O'Rourke just did. I was a little bit perplexed by that. I'm not sure if he took a wave round at some point and wasn't going to make it on fuel because of just the timings of the yellows and whatnot. But, ooh, there's 52 with a big slide in front of Malik Ray and Rhett McBride, and there was a big slide for them. 51 to Justin Fuller came down pit road, too, so got some newer tires around here. But, wow, a lot of action coming out of turn 4 there around that whole Malik Ray group.
There it is, Rick McBride, Malik Ray right there. You got 51 going high side. He's on new tires, folks, and he's been able to. Oh, and Malik's around.
Oh, he got to the apron soon enough to not bring out a yellow, but that made it a little bit easier.
I don't know if he can't get turned around. Yeah, he spun it on a round, so if he can't get turned back around and get going, Iracing might. He's off the racing surface, and we know, and you know there, Harris, if he's far enough off, it won't trigger a caution here. As we got 7 to go, if a caution was to come out now, it definitely wouldn't be over with. Two things I always like to give the viewers out there. Obviously, the last lap, that's 130. That's going to end it. With 5 to go, though, a caution comes out. That ends it. So we're still on the green, and Rick McBride still hangs on the 5th. He's got Bobby Terrell all over his back end. And EJ O'Rourke right there, though, he's actually on newer tires. If it was me, I'd just say go ahead and go on. You're on a lot better tires than we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with that difference in speed. It can really mess you up when you have a faster truck behind you. Sometimes they'll just be letting you do your thing and just lifting enough that they don't get to you, but it's still distracting, you know?
Yep. Oh, and Nicholas Cohan up there blinking a lot. That's something we don't want to see, that 57 machine. Definitely not, because we're going to watch this battle here brewing. Rick McBride's got Bobby Terrell all over his back. Declan, we got 6 to go here. As your leader out front, Chad Coleman's got a 1.4 second lead, folks. He's just walking away from Mike Kelly and company up there. Pedro Mega hanging on the 3rd. And that Mega machine done very good all night long. Nicholas Cohan sitting in 4th. The battles here is for 5th. Rick McBride and the 79 hits the wall coming out of the turn. Going to open the door for the 7, and he's going to drive right through it.
Yeah, just one little mistake, and that's it. Bobby Terrell up to 5th now. Meanwhile, Chad Coleman breathing a sigh of relief that he got to 5 to go, knowing that if a caution were to come out, the race would be over with no green light checkers existing on this service. But that's a scare. 7 to go or so, and Malik Ray having the spin down the backstretch. You just know that the caution's coming, and then it doesn't fall. He was just far enough off the racetrack that the caution was not brought out.
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of guys, the 57 probably was like, man, if I could have just got a caution, give it up there maybe one more time, maybe to get near him. And the 2 machine of Mike Kelly, they're all thinking, if we just could have got a caution a little earlier on, might have been a run that 20 and maybe one last ditch effort. We just had to see. But I got to give my hats off. Like you said earlier, Chad Coleman played it here. It's been a rough night for some of the heavy hitters. Michael Guest early on. And, we've seen Pedro hit the wall. Malik Ray there spinning and hitting the wall. So a lot of these guys, this track here at Atlanta has jumped out and bit them.
Yeah, and really when I look at those heavy hitters that have had a lot of trouble, they haven't really been victim of situations. It's been their mistakes. So this isn't a situation where, someone got lucky. Coleman hasn't, he's made some mistakes where he did not damage his car, but the other drivers that are up there in the top 5 who were competing for this win, they all made mistakes where it did damage their car.
Yeah, I don't know if Pedro has enough time to run down Mike Kelly. He's gaining on him just a little bit, just not enough right there. He's got him in his sights. He's got 2 to go. Then almost going to come to the line. The white flag here is one more time for that man out front, Chad Coleman, as he will come across the line here tonight. He's been out front there with a 1.8 second lead and looking good. Pedro's trying to do everything he can to run down Mike Kelly.
Yeah, it looks like it just won't be enough time. Coleman's got a little bit of lap traffic in front of him, but doesn't look like it will play a role at all in this one. Joey Katina goes nice and high for that 20 truck of Coleman. Coleman comes out of turn 4 looking for that checkered flag.
Yep, comes out of turn 4, going to cross the line for the final time tonight here at Atlanta for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series, Winter Series. Winner tonight, Chad Coleman takes that victory right there. Wow, what a race. It started off with these guys on a very tricky track here tonight. And these boys, man, they handled it quite well. And a few cautions out here, but, that's what they expect. And we had some long green flag runs, so a little bit of everything. Cautions, long green flag runs, strategy out there, and a lot of great battling.
Yeah, it's been a great start to this season because, shades of Chicago, probably a cleaner race. Chicago was a great race. We might have had fewer cautions here. A lot of green flag racing here once we got that rhythm.
Yes, we did. Wow, that's going to put Chad Coleman there in a victory lane here tonight. What a run for him. See if I can't find him here there it is. Is it Chad? It's not Chad Coleman. No, Chad Coleman.
Nah, he's not here yet, but
he's not here? Okay.
He's on his team's team speak and celebrating at the moment.
I got you. All right, well, we'll bring up old Mike Kelly. I see him down there. Put him in the green room for a second. And Pedro Mega Man himself. I know he's got to be in here somewhere.
He just joined.
He just joined. Okay, good deal. All right, Pedro. Good deal. All right, we'll see him bring old Pedro down here. And Nicholas Cohan's up there. All right, well, I'm going to bring up the third place man, Pedro Mega. Let's get a talk in with him there, Harris.
All right. Pedro Mega. Harrison Wild's up here in the booth, and I tell you, for that third place finish, that was no easy race. We saw you start from the back and have to make your way forward, and well, first off, just as far as the truck drove, how did it feel throughout a run? How did it change as you went deeper into a run versus how it was on new tires?
Hey, Harrison. Hey, what's up, Joe? My truck was handled really good, especially on the wrong ones. So, unfortunately, I believe before that I pitted, I hit pretty hard the wall. I was leading the time, and I got a loose on the resistance 4, and I hit the wall pretty hard, and I lose a lot of time in there. And my car was really good at that time. So after there, I lose probably 1 to 2 miles now on my car. So, but man, the car was really good on the long runs. So especially for me, that was handled pretty good. So. That was pretty hard to see, when you have a fast car, and I know those guys was driving really good, Chad and Mike, but there's a type of race you cannot race. That was when you have a race like that, when Malik and the Mike, or he don't have a good race, that's the type of race you have to come in here and bring you home. So, but third place, that's not that bad.
Yeah, certainly had so much speed, and when it came to Malik and Mike, they made mistakes of their own too. So it's kind of, it just seemed like the track was that hard that it seemed like more than bad luck befalling people. It was just mistakes who took those top running trucks who were competing for the wins every week out. How was driving through traffic? We know you started from the back and had to come up through the field there. Was it easy to pass?
That was easy to pass. Because in the 1 and 2, you can do anywhere. You can do in the top, in the middle, on the bottom. You just pick a lane and go. So in the third and the 4, my line was on the bottom, close to the white lane. But you can use the top too. So you just have to be careful in the exit in the 4. Because if you push so hard, you can hit the wall. But the only problem in the traffic is, when the drive you have on the front, you can, where they're gonna brake, pretty much what they're gonna do it, and the field is pretty new for me. I know a couple drives in here, Justin, Shad, Mike, Malik. I know a couple drives in here, but pretty much everybody, I don't know what they're gonna do. So. I lose a lot of time in that because I went to the, behind the guy in the turn 1. I don't know if you're going to take the top line or the bottom. I don't know how they're going to handle his car. But, that was pretty good. You don't have just one line to drive. You have a 2 or 3 line, so you would just pick one and go.
Absolutely, and that makes it, I'm sure, entertaining to drive, but also really entertaining to watch. But I tell you, even with the damage, recovering to finish third, I think that's a fantastic recovery. Showed a lot of speed, led a lot of laps, and it's a great third place finish. Do you have anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I wanna thank everybody in the league, Joe, you guys in the booth. So yeah, I'm gonna, like I say, I'm gonna be quiet in here and see when those guys in the front are gonna make some kind of mistake, just like he did today. And unfortunately, I don't have the chance to bat on the front in the end. But we're gonna go quiet and let's see how far we can make it.
Absolutely, we think that won't be the last time we see the 48 car competing for the wins up there. Thanks for joining us. Congrats again on that third place finish.
All right, guys.
All right, that's Pedro Mega Man. Pulled out the Mega Machine up there and looked good. Well, let's go down here. We're going to grab Mike Kelly, second place runner tonight here in Atlanta. Harris, let's get a word in with him.
Mike Kelly finished second tonight, and Mike showed a lot of speed on the long runs tonight. Kept right up there with Malik Ray before he got any damage at all, and so we had an eye on that 2 truck, seeing if you'd be able to get to victory lane tonight. But how did the truck feel throughout the race? How did the beginning of the run compare to deeper in?
First of all, anyone got a towel? No, I love this track. I love it when it's loose. I tend to always run well here when it gets loose like this, and I was just biding my time, sticking with Malik there. I did a strategy that I was just doing a one-stopper there on that long run. I don't know who was going to do 1 and who was going to do 2. I felt good about it, though. I felt if we wouldn't have had that last yellow, I had a shot to win it anyway, but I think I had a good shot to win it if that race went green, because my truck was feeling really good. I hadn't abused it, and I was just riding it out, hoping that everything went my way, and it didn't. But it was a good run.
Oh, absolutely. And it's certainly entertaining. Looking back now, would you change anything you did with the strategy in order to get track position, or kind of happy with the way the game plan was?
No, I'm happy with the way the game plan was. The only thing was, I wish I could have got around Pedro a little sooner there. I used my truck up a bit too much, and it was a little looser there at the end, I think, because of it, than my other runs, and I just didn't have anything left for Chad. He was really making that bottom line work, and I couldn't even go down there. I don't know how he was doing it. I had to run in the middle, and we were just stalled out, and the gap, he was pulling a little, it would go back and forth, but I didn't have anything for him. And I'm glad I think my strategy worked out well. I just pushed it a little too hard early in that last run.
Oh, absolutely. And looking at the schedule, a couple of tracks that might be similar. Is there anything that stands out that you're really looking forward to, whether it's Richmond or Vegas, Kentucky?
I love short tracks, and I love any 1.5-miler that has a loose setup. So, anything that's loose, I'm good. I'll really be looking forward to those races.
I certainly hear you there, but I tell you, a really strong second place finish tonight. Congratulations on that. And do you have anyone you'd like to thank?
Just my team, Bobby Terrell and Scott Simley, Turn 1 Heroes. We've raced together a long time. Bobby put together a good top 5. Scott was running well and had an unfortunate deal there, got hooked and got knocked out. But we were all running strong and looking for top 10s for everybody. I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting these races. They're really entertaining to watch. And thanks to Sim500 for putting on this series. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to the chase and hopefully making the chase and running for a championship.
We appreciate that, and thanks for joining us. Congrats again on a solid podium.
Thanks, guys. It was a fun race.
All right, that's our second place man right there, Mike Kelly. Definitely was hard charging that thing to the front. Well, Harris, I'm going to run off down here in the victory lane. One happy camper here in the 20 machine. Chad Coleman's going to pull it off here tonight. Chad Coleman, Joe, in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
I'll tell you what, an awesome run out there in that 20 machine. Looked good all night long. How was that track? Because we saw a lot of trucks out there getting very, very slick and loose as the run went on.
Yeah, that was fun. For the first, I don't know, I'd say 10 to 15 laps, it was on the snug side, snug neutral. You know, it'd push a little bit in the middle if you overdrove the corner. After 20, 25 laps, the right rear tire would go away. And after that, it was fun. You could run it, you know, kind of wherever you wanted to, slide it all over the place.
Oh, okay, good deal. Well, and that's what we kind of saw out there. Early on in the race, did you think you had the truck, man, that wasn't going to be able to pull this thing off?
Yeah, I didn't qualify good. I got tight, and then earlier on in the run, I went hard to get by some people, and as the run started going on, I kept gaining a little bit, and that run kind of got cut short. But yeah, and then later on in the race, we got a long run, and I could see I was gaining on everybody in front of me as the run got longer, and that's when I pretty much knew if this thing would get a green flag run in it, then we had a really good chance.
Absolutely. Well, definitely was one. Looks like some attrition took a part out there with a lot of heavy hitters, as we like to call them, but I can't take anything away from you guys out here. Wonderful run. Pulling this thing off here, hot Atlanta here tonight for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series. Winner tonight here at Atlanta, Chad Coleman. Got anybody out there you want to thank for it?
Yeah, thank you guys doing a broadcast. All the guys with the league for putting everything together, and thank JD Laird for the paint scheme and JDR Graphics. You need anything painted, hit him up, JDR Graphics. And yeah, that's about it. That's all.
Man, a few words there, but he definitely not a few words when he gets behind the wheel out there, showing it all. Chad Coleman, tonight's winner. Again, congratulations, Chad. All right, Harris, well, I'll tell you what a race. We saw it all here, and the guys out there, treacherous track again, little loose conditions out there. We saw some heavy hitters have some hard time out there. Some guys coming up, good win there for Chad. Pedro having a good one up there. Mike Kelly coming back. Awesome run here in Atlanta. You got any final words?
Just enjoy a lot when you see a lot of green racing and the truck gets harder to drive throughout a run. It feels like, you turn on lap 20, lap 40, lap 60. You kind of have a different complexion or perception of what's going on with the race. So just makes it entertaining throughout, where it's like you have to pay attention to know how this happened. It's just a lot of fun to see people wheeling their trucks.
Well, absolutely. Well, I agree with you there on that one. It was an awesome race throughout the end here for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series. Folks, we were at Atlanta here tonight. Well, I want to appreciate everybody tuning in and watching this one here. It's myself, Joe White, up in the booth along with Harrison up here. Awesome field of drivers here at Atlanta. Well, until tomorrow night here at OSRNetwork, tune in. We got Racing for a Cause tomorrow night. Until then, I appreciate everybody coming out. Everyone, have a good night.